We're going to learn how to calculate excise tax, which is, again, just a sales tax charged to the seller for the most part. Excise tax, for your purposes as a pre-licensing student on the pre-licensing exam, is going to be a seller expense. Always a seller expense for exam purposes. In real life, out in the wild, it's actually a negotiable item. In our standard contract that we use most of the time, it is a seller expense, but oftentimes in new construction, the builder has had a contract created by their own attorneys, and that has shifted it over to the buyer's column. But for our purposes, again, seller paid, seller expense as you're being tested in this pre-licensing course. Excise tax is also based upon the purchase price, just like any sales tax. That's why I like to call it a sales tax, just to remind you, don't base it on the tax value. Base it on the purchase price. So if there's a purchase price of $153,300, sale price of $153,300, the formula for calculating the excise tax is this: $1 per $500 of sales price, and then round up. Then round up to the next higher dollar. In other words, the government doesn't want your change. They want dollars. So I'll show you what I mean. $153,300 is our price. That's our sale price. We're going to divide that by $500. That gives us $306.60. $306.60. That gave us $306.60, and that's what I'm talking about. The government wants more than that 60 cents, so the answer to how much would the excise tax be on a sale price of $153,300 is $307 because of this, rounding it up. There are two ways to calculate excise tax. This is one way. The other way is to do the rounding before you divide by 500. So let's look at that right down here in the corner. The other way is this: take that $153,300 and round it up to the next higher $500 increment. Round it up to $153,500 and then divide that by 500. $153,500 divided by 500. There's our 307. So you get the same thing either way. It's just going to be whether or not you are rounding the price to the next $500 increment, or you're just using the original sale price, and then when you get the answer with cents, round those cents up to the next dollar. Let's do one more. Excise tax again. This time the sales price is $473,700. $473,700. So if we're going to use that second method we just learned about, where we round the sale price before the division, then we're going to round this $473,700 up to $474, because that's the next $500 increment. So now we take our 474, divide it by 500, $948. Now let's look at if we had do it the other rounding method and we take the actual sale price of $473,700, divide it by 500, $947.40. $947.40, and then we'll round that up to $948. Look familiar? There we go. So both ways work, whether you're rounding the price up to the next $500 and then dividing, or you're using the actual price, getting the dollars, and then rounding up to the next higher $1 increment. That is excise tax.